All right, everyone. We are back.
Yeah, we are.
Our preview segment of UFC 235, Jones versus Smith.
And the preview of me spilling beer all over my dick on accident. I'm not good at pouring in front of a camera, evidently.
Well, or it should be called is we're sorry for 234 and we're making it up to you.
Yeah, no, it really feels like that, right? Because they could have split this card in half and made a good 234 card. They just didn't give a fuck
when I was watching
Australia.
Yeah, when I was watching the weigh-ins, I was like, oh, Woodley versus Usman could totally headline something.
Dude, half the main card could have headlined or could have co-mained fucking Australia card.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm not going to talk about that shit. I'm going to get right into this.
Let's do it.
We'll start from the bottom and go all the way up. So the first fight we have on the prelims, and are the prelims, by the way, in ESPN Plus? Or is this,
I believe the early prelims are on Fight Pass from what I've heard.
Okay, so this would be Fight Pass, and then the prelims are on regular ESPN, cable ESPN.
I think so. Yes. Let me double check. I'm going to go ahead and check Grabaka Hitman. Yeah. Because that's the place to look for all this shit, because the UFC website is fucking garbage nowadays. So yeah, keep talking and I'll let you know here in
we have for the evening for every one of you who will be tuning in, hopefully in the beginning of the card, is Brazilian fighter. It's a women's strawweight bout. Polyana Marijuana, as we like to call her, or Polyana Viana. She didn't like the whole Mota thing, but you know what? She brought that on herself. So
which by the way, I feel bad about, because every Polyana in the UFC I've been calling Mota off and on. And it's Viana. Viana's the actual one, but I keep poor Polyana Botella. I keep calling fucking Polyana Marijuana also. But yes, I can confirm that it is UFC Fight Pass for the first 3 fights, which is Polyana Viana versus Hannah Cyphers, Gina Mazzani versus Macy Chasson, and Charles Bird versus Edmonds Boy. And then for the regular prelim card, it's on ESPN, which is Stevens versus Abit, Serkinov versus Johnny Walker, Perez versus Stamen, and Sanchez versus Gall.
Yeah,
which, by the way, goddamn, just reading that's a really fucking good card.
So, Polyana Viana is going up against American fighter Hannah Cyphers. Polyana Viana, last time she has a record of 10 wins, 2 losses. Last time we saw her, she lost a decision unanimously to American fighter J.J. Aldrich, which was back in August of 2018. Hannah Cyphers, last time we saw her, lost to highly touted women's prospect fighter and young fighter Macy Barber. She got grounded and pounded the fuck out.
She also looked like she was at least 1 weight class below her.
Yeah, so is this kind of like let me see how tall. So Hannah Cyphers is 5'2". Let me see where she fought. Okay, so she was at Next Level Fight Club, Jackson Wink Fight Nights, of some regional scene, probably in Albuquerque.
Yep.
Titan. So was she an atomweight?
Not until all the way back at her debut, I believe. Was her, or no, it was was it the Rachel fight? Yeah, it was the Rachel Sazal fight. That was the atomweight fight. Other than that, she's been at strawweight the whole time. But good God, did she look fucking small against Barber? Yeah,
so Paulina Viana, it's not going to help that she's 5'7".
Yep.
Definitely got a distinct advantage in size.
Pretty definitive, and it's hard not to think it won't play some difference in this fight.
Yeah, this is Polyana's 3rd UFC fight. Looking at their resumes here, their fight records, Polyana's come more of a submission artist for sure. A lot of arm bars and triangle chokes. While Hannah Cyphers' bread and butter is more, looks like kind of just strikes with the elbows and punches. I would imagine it's in a clinch.
Everything seems to end up in the clinch. At least in her UFC fight, everything from Cyphers that she landed was either in the clinch or just trying to bull rush a motherfucker, because she is so small compared to her opponent.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say on this. I haven't done too much tape study. besides from the fighters that I've seen more of, if I want to be fair in that assessment.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on this card that like you just know because you've seen their last handful of fights.
I'll be honest.
This is probably not one of them unless you went out of your way.
I'll be honest, looking at these first like 5 fights, I know who all of these fighters are. Like I know who they are. I'm not going to be one to give you a kind of fucking gnarly analysis on why this person's going to win.
Well, good news for you guys. I did tape study on every one of the early cards.
I'll go ahead and say who I think is going to win this, and I'll let you do your thing. I'm taking Polyana Viana. I like the size advantage in this one. She has decent stand-up. Last time I saw her, I think she's able to gauge distance pretty well. I don't see someone who's pretty undersized in Hannah Cyphers being able to give her much trouble unless she can really get inside and has a lot of explosiveness maybe and can kind of feint and get in with like those like some dirty boxing really. But
right,
she has knockouts with elbows, but I would imagine that's probably from ground and pound. You usually get elbow knockouts. So
you're going to be honest via decision?
Yeah, decision.
I actually have it the same way. Polyana Viana, aka Polyana Marijuana, who I'm a big fucking fan of. Anyone with the last name Mota, I fucks with.
100%.
The thing is, she might lose this fight.
Okay.
Her last fight was against JJ Aldrich, and she should win that fight. She should have won the JJ Aldrich fight. She doesn't ever dig underhooks. I've never seen her do it. That whole fight took place in the clinch. She dug 0 fucking underhooks the entire time. All she did was try and grab whizzers and hit trips. That's all she did.
Especially when you're fighting someone who's a lot smaller than you.
It's the most frustrating thing of all time. I think against someone who's smaller like Hannah Cyphers, she could actually hit those trips just because she's got a giant strength advantage in this fight, I have to imagine. I also think she'll probably do pretty well on the outside. She's a really long right body kick and a really long right hand that she likes to throw real straight, which I think is going to cause fucking problems for Hannah Cyphers. But if Hannah Cyphers is able to put this in the clinch and just literally pin her against the cage and dig underhooks more often, I think Hannah Cyphers takes this. I'm going to take Polyana Viana via decision just because I think Hannah Cyphers is going to get lit up at range enough to lose a decision. But good God, do I believe that most of this is going to take place in the clinch, and most of it's going to take place in an over-under clinch in which no one digs an underhook. It's going to be like the most fucking frustrating shit of all. I don't know if it's just because I'm a big Dom Cruz fan. I don't know if it's just because I'm a big underhook fan. And I think underhooks are a giant underrated weapon in most of fucking mixed martial arts. Not even that. It's just people don't focus. Like,
I mean, they're lower level clinch. And if you want, I don't want to say the clinch game too.
Yeah, I don't want to say the lower levels of MMA, but I would say the less experienced levels of MMA. You see a lot of people just overhooking and trying to grab whizzers, and like whizzers are great. Whizzers can do a lot for you, but a lot of Polyana Viana is just grabbing like a whizzer and a double overhook and just like every once in a while looking for a trip off a whizzer, and I saw Cyphers dig 5 underhooks maybe in her last fight, which is not great. It's not much. So I don't know, man. I'm not real confident in it at all with Polyana Viana via decision, but I am also leaning that way. But man, does it make me nervous. Like, I would not be surprised to see Cyphers win because I feel like if Polyana Viana gets to the ground, she probably takes this. But I think Hannah Cyphers is going to make this fight ugly as fuck. And it's going to be a long decision, probably at least 29-28, if not split.
I can see that. I like how you broke that down. So that wasn't why I was leading the decision. I was leading the decision more or less because I don't really recall in this weight class seeing too many finishes. That's not a submission. Just the only few knockouts that I really remember seeing are just been in title fights.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's like,
stoppage.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where it's like, it could easily be a thing where she just gets bulldozed by Polyana Viana on the outside. Like Polyana Viana throws long fucking right hands and long kicks, especially to the body, and I can see that causing trouble for Hannah Cyphers if she doesn't just put this in the clinch. But they both seem to have a tendency to move to the clinch, and if that's the case, I literally never seen Polyana Viana dig for an underhook. Never seen it.
Yeah,
she spent rounds against Lena Landsberg where she didn't dig an underhook. She just kept grabbing either whizzers or trying to work an overhook game and trips off that, which might work against a smaller fighter, but Jesus, like it's frustrating to watch. As someone who, again, big Tom Cruise fan, and what is the only thing he yells all the time during commentary is dig a fucking underhook.
Yeah, exactly.
Underhooks are everything. People, like, in almost every position, underhooks are everything. Oh,
that's it.
God.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me that. If you're wondering what the odds are on this one, what do you want to go with this week? I know that unofficially we rolled with BetDSI. In the past, we've done Bovada. I don't know. And this is
whatever you want. Pick one. I don't give a fuck. Let's not even shout them out.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to do...
don't even shout them out. Just pick one and go with it.
So the odds on this are Polyana Viana is a minus 250 favorite to a plus 230 to Hannah Cyphers.
Yeah. The size difference
other ones, this one kind of seems
palpable.
Yeah. I like this one. So moving on, we have another fight that's interesting. This is at bantamweight, I believe.
Yes, 135. Macy Chasson is dropping down.
Yeah, so Gina Mazzani, whom you might recognize from The Ultimate Fighter, the Misha Tate versus Rousey season.
Really? Is that how long ago that was?
I believe she was on that one because she got bullied.
Yeah, Juliana Pena, you're right. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think Gina Mazzani got bullied, or maybe she bullied someone. There's someone got bullied. It's kind of fucked up, but
I mean, tough. Everyone got bullied on that season. Shouts to Ronda.
Yeah. Goddamn, I remember that scene. Never mind. I don't want to fucking talk about that. Goddamn Edmund, dude. Jesus Christ.
Don't worry. He'll come up again tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately. So Gina Mazzani is going to be against Macy Chasson, who you said is dropping down from featherweight. Yes, she is. This is her official UFC debut, technically speaking. Because other than that,
you mean Chasson?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Chasson. Yeah,
I believe technically her debut was in the tough finale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's right. So
technically,
pardon that.
Which, by the way, isn't even on fucking Fight Pass.
Wait, like that
card's not on Fight Pass. There's like
shit.
To be fair, it is on Fight Pass. There's only like 3 fights from it on Fight Pass. The rest of it, including your boy Edmund, this dude, is not on Fight Pass at all. They just didn't even add it. They didn't fucking bother.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't have, to be honest, I don't have too much. Fortunately, I don't have too much to say about this fight. Gina Mazzani, last time we saw her, she lost unanimously to Lena Landsberg last May, so coming in up on a year ago. I don't know if she's been dealing with injury or just hasn't found an opponent. How tall is she? She's 5'6", kind of like that average height for bantamweight, going up against a 5'9", definitely a taller fighter for that weight class, and Macy Chasson. Last time we saw her was last November in that top 28 finale, where she defeated Pandy Kianzad via rear naked choke in the middle of the second round.
In a tough out.
Yeah, she's undefeated in her professional record. I see, because 2 of those 5 fights were on tough, so those counts as exhibition fights.
Yep.
I think I'm leaning towards Chasson. She's the bigger fighter. She's the longer fighter. I don't really recall too much. I know and I'll let you take over. Some of these fights like this, like I've told people, if I'm kind of not too educated on it as much as maybe you are, I kind of I'll give you my thing. I'm taking Chasson in this one. And I think it's...
What method?
I kind of want to say Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with it. Submission. We went like round 2, something like that.
So I am going, yeah, basically very similar. And it's mostly because. So first off, let me disclose: huge Macy Chasson fan. Mostly because she's from New Orleans and it's fucking fantastic. And I'm a big New Orleans fan. I'm a big Macy Chasson fan. She's been talking about fucking king cake and po' boys all week, and so full disclosure ahead of time, let me go ahead and say that I am leaning her way heavily anyway. But the main reason I'm taking her in this fight is Gina Mazzani had a tough fucking out against whoever she fought last. It was Lena Landsberg, I think, where she had the tough decision. She just got stuck in the clinch over and over again and had mad trouble getting out of it. Whereas Macy Chasson fought her way through the Ultimate Fighter House, which was a tough couple fucking outs. And then she fought Panicky and Zad for the championship of that season in Tough, which Panicky and Zad I had going into the house as the winner of that season. I also had her against Macy in the championship just because Penny is very well rounded. It was a very scrappy fight. Macy actually got rocked a couple times in that fight, but Macy's size and Macy's just grappling ability, she was able to get the back, and as soon as she got the back, she was very fucking dominant in those kind of exchanges. And that's why I'm going Macy in this, mostly because Mazzani has shown a couple different times. First off, her striking looks almost identical to Tim Elliott, which makes sense if you watch the Fun with Fighting episode where she's dating Tim Elliott and they're hanging out together on that fucking podcast. So it makes sense why her fighting looks the way it does, or why her stand-up looks the way it does. But I just think Macy's going to be way too big, and I think that Gina is going to get into exchanges that she's not going to win and then crash the distance and get stuck in the clinch. And I think from the clinch, Macy is clearly going to, as long as Macy doesn't get fucked up trying to close the distance, I think if it ends up in the clinch at all, Macy's going to bang up Gina to the body with knees and in general and to the head. And then I think eventually she's going to be able to get her back. Because Gina Mazzani has had a tendency, especially in her last fight against Lena, she grabs that head and arm over the back of the head. And that is a great way to give up your back, which is Macy Chasson has proved multiple times that she's good at grabbing. So, yeah, I'm going to take Macy via RNC, probably late first, early second.
I like it.
And you had, how'd you have Macy win it?
Submission, second round. I'm thinking rear naked as well.
Yeah, I mean,
she's a lot bigger than her. She's just going to use just the longer limbs.
She has a couple different ways to win it, it seems like. So yeah, I could see why we're both on the same page with that one.
I will go ahead and
I guess I'll go ahead. You know what? I'll go ahead and take into first just to make it interesting, since that way we're taking the exact same thing twice in a row. And to be fair, I think Macy is trying to get in and out of there so she can go get herself some po' boys. Which fuck yeah, Macy.
When is Mardi Gras? Is that this coming
Tuesday?
Definitely not going downtown because I'm not a
dog. Endymion is rolling tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure tucks are happening. Pretty sure tucks are rolling right around the time Macy's fighting, which has got to be good luck. Where's I have a tuck necklace around here somewhere. I wish I knew where it went.
It broke.
Oh, it broke. Well, I'll get my Bacchus necklace out here, or I'll get my Bacchus beads out here in a minute. No, the silver,
so ones. If you're curious about what the odds are, right now, Macy Chasson is a minus 500 favorite to a plus 400 Gina Mazzani.
That seems wide, but I'm not surprised. The size difference is fucking palpable.
I'll say this: I'm not naming the odds. The other odds, on average, have a minus 500 to a plus 375, or even a plus 350. So
yeah, I heard some spots where she was the second biggest favorite on the card. That seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, the size difference is fucking palpable. So, and the style difference,
you can't really ignore it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Like I would actually argue it probably does deserve to be the second biggest gap on the card.
Yeah, you can definitely make an argument for that. I won't disagree. This next fight, I care about because, well, kind of. If you're going to care, don't care. Mainly because I didn't know Charles Byrd is from San Diego County. I didn't know he was born.
No way.
He's born in Oceanside.
Oh well, double fuck Edmund.
Yeah,
I'm taking Charles Byrd as sub.
I was gonna make a joke saying that Chris is excited for this because it's from one of his favorite striking coaches. But
oh yeah. No, my favorite striking coach that I'd love to see in the ground.
Yeah, aka the one coach that if he actually knew how to teach striking, Ronda Rousey could have been even better. But we all know how it went.
Or could have just been a better person. We could argue with both of those.
I hate talking about that asshole. The guy excuse me, I'm not gonna say I want to root for because that's bias. We can't do that.
Doug, you're the journalist. I am 100% not rooting for any fucking Edmund fighter.
And then again,
I'll go ahead and
this isn't a podcast. We could talk about whatever the fuck.
Also, I'm 100% rooting for Macy Chasson. I don't know if that's clear at all yet, but 100% I'm a Macy Chasson fan.
I hope you're eating a po' boy during her fight.
Oh, dog! Don't I'm going to fucking Popeyes. I'm gonna be a white tourist during her fight. Fucking, it's happening.
Shouts out to Jennifer Lopez in the background.
Oh, that's right. If you guys look right over this shoulder, Jennifer Lopez showed up for a second. She was trying to get some taco flavored kisses to the conversation. Anyway,
Charles Byrd, the middleweight. Holy shit, this dude's 35.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah. He's been in the game for a while, I think. Yeah, he's been fighting for 10 years, almost. Okay. So that checks out. Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. I thought he was like 23.
Yeah, no, he's 35. Wow, that's...
Jesus. How old is Edmund?
Oh, he's like 21.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps when you have a shithead coach who has some sort of claim to fame or platform, right? So Charles Byrd, the guy from Oceanside, but he's fighting out of Arlington, Texas. You may know him from Dana White's Dancing with the Stars, as I like to call it, or the Contender Series.
Yeah, or as many people do, yeah.
Last time we saw him, it was his second UFC fight. He lost. Oh, he got knocked out by Darren Stewart in the second round on the Woodley vs. Till card last September via right elbow strike. Darren the Dentist Stewart. Edmund's boy Edmund, his last fight was the Tough 28 finale, also against Darren Stewart, but he won. He beat Darren Stewart via split decision.
Yeah.
So it's evident this motherfucker Edmund has decent striking. Maybe. Which is an oxymoron to me when you tell me who his coach is.
He out-wrestled Darren Stewart to a win.
Out-wrestled? Oh, wow. So now I'm very confused. Now, oh, boy. Now this almost seems like a coin flip fight to me. However, it's not going to be a coin flip fight. You know why? Because Charles Byrd has a couple wins via submission, and I feel like that's how this is going to end for Edmund's night.
It's kind of up in the air. It'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out, but yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so Edmund is significantly bigger than Charles Byrd. 6'2"
Really?
versus 5'10".
Yeah, but like also, so Edmund's first fight where he actually won instead of winning in the first minute and 30 seconds was that Darren Stewart fight, in which he basically just wrestle fucked Darren Stewart pretty significantly. Also, if you guys look right behind me, that's girlfriend Karen crawling behind me.
Was it kind of like a sloppy wrestling kind of thing, or what would you call it?
Try not to show up on camera.
Well, you're definitely showing up on camera. No, it was fine, but like also that's how you should fight Darren Stewart probably. It's a pro wrestling.
Yeah, I know that guy's. I know Stewart's bread and butter is kind of more in the clinch or in the pocket, I should say, just throwing those really big fucking hooks, and just kind of wings them right in your face, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it could go either way. I'm not confident either way at all in this fight. I'm leaning. If I was to pick a side on this, I'm leaning Charles Byrd via sub, but it's 100% because I don't trust at all Edmund to have any kind of fucking game plan.
No, and I was gonna say I was thinking Charles Byrd was sub because when it comes to Edmund, the guy first and foremost is a boxing coach. Let's get that out of the way. That's what he was known for.
I mean Edmund the fighter, not Edmund the dude.
Oh, I'm thinking about the coach. That's why
I know, but look at the dude's name.
Oh, and I know that's hilarious. It's not
tough,
funny, really, but it makes it more kind of ironic more than anything. Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm going Charles Byrd via sub.
What round?
It's never really technically smart to really call like a round 3 sub because how does that happen? Usually someone gets gassed. So I'm gonna go round 2. Edmund here does a poor shot, gets. I don't know. I think he gets guillotined.
That's not a bad. That's not a bad.
I think he shoots. I think he shoots on Byrd, tries to get some sort of mount position, and then he just gets fucking caught like this, and then it's just like night. He just kind of gets dumped on his own head.
Yeah, I think a lot like the Macy fight. I think this could end up in a TKO, even if or a club and sub. I could see it going either way, but I think I'm gonna take Byrd probably via sub late first round. I think I'm probably leaning either towards guillotine or some kind of front headlock series like a Dars or an Anaconda or something like that. Because I just feel like Edmund. I hope I don't have fucking hiccups right now. I think Edmund is going to push the pace up against and try and put a pace out. I think he's going to get clipped with a big counter, and I think he's going to try and panic wrestle. I think that's going to be bad fucking news for him. So, yeah, I'm taking Byrd late first round sub. Probably like power guillotine, but if he doesn't catch that, like one of the fucking palm to palm power guillotines, or something crazy, or the like RNC saw power guillotine. If he doesn't catch one of the, or I guess, yeah, it depends on how they connect the hands. But if he doesn't catch that, I think he probably catches some kind of weird front headlock series, because I just think he's gonna club Edmund in some kind of exchange. He just seems too dynamic, and I could easily see him being outworked by Edmund if this goes past like halfway through the second. But
yeah, I can see that as well.
I'm gonna lean that way on Byrd just because I have no faith in his coaching or his game planning. So,
nor do I. So, if you're curious on what the odds are, I'm not going to ask you to guess. Maybe later for some more interesting matchups. But as far as the odds that I'm choosing from here, Charles Byrd, is an underdog at plus 120 to a slight favorite and minus 140 to Edmund.
I'm not surprised. Edmund looked good in his last fight, and Charles Byrd looked. I mean, they fought the same dude, and Charles Byrd got clipped. But Charles Byrd was also fucking up Stewart for a lot of that fight up until he got caught. Yeah. He just was wrestling way too much and way too explosive and gas and got bombed on in a combo. And I don't think Edmund's gonna be able to do that cleanly. Like, it's possible he does, but I don't think he's gonna look nearly as clean as the Darren Stewart win. So this is where I start getting emotionally invested.
So yeah, this next fight, I like the guy a lot since Tough One. He doesn't really need any introduction. Diego not Lionheart anymore, Diego Nightmare Sanchez.
Yeah.
Is going up against youngster.
Yeah, Diego in my nightmares Sanchez.
Yeah. He's going up against Mickey Gall. You can just kind of tell. You can just kind of tell what I think about this fight, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we all know where this is going, right? It's going one of two ways.
I mean, I have Mickey by sub, but because
I guess one of three ways.
I don't know. Were you just thinking he gets clipped either way by Gall in some exchange and he gets knocked out? Because I know his chin. I know Sanchez's chin hasn't been good. Or
if you're taking sub, what round are you taking sub? That's what I'm curious about. Like, did you have a round for sub that you were curious that you were leaning towards, or?
I'm gonna go round 2.
Second, really?
Yeah.
So I'm going Gall TKO round 1.
Round 1.
Yeah.
Is it what do you think? Ground and pound or something?
No, I think he probably catches him on the outside in the same way everyone else who's beat him in the last couple fights has.
So like map round.
Diego hasn't gotten fucked up in a fight in like 4 years. And I think Mickey Gall training with specifically because he has a 40-pound weight advantage and he's or 35-pound weight advantage. And he's training with Joe Schilling for the last year. And he's training with Eve Edwards. I can't imagine a way in which he just gets put against the fence and eats punches for 3 rounds. Yeah, that would fucking
I hate
blow
being the
my
guy
mind.
Who changed his pick, but that's a good point. I remember you mentioned it to me in our first segment about Joe. I can't disagree with that. And
I don't disagree with sub though. I think sub is a very real take in that Diego might just go for a takedown, get caught in a guillotine.
I wanted to say sub round 3. Mainly because I feel like he battered.
You said second before. I think second.
No, I'm sticking with second. I'm sticking with second.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking 3 because like, oh, what if he just tires him out? And then it's just like early round 3. Whenever I say round 3, it's not like at the bell and none of that bullshit. It's just where it's like right in the beginning, you're like fucking, oh, you're already like fucked up.
And that's the thing is, I think if he catches him in the 3rd, it's gonna be with a TKO, not a sub, because catching a sub against Diego in 3rd is like fucking magic at this point.
Yeah,
because if Diego gets to the 3rd round, Mickey Gall is probably fucked. To be fair,
and if I looked it up correctly, I don't think Diego's ever been subbed.
Oh, he definitely has.
Okay,
right? I don't know. Actually, I don't know that I've ever looked that up. That's a good question. Actually, he must have been right. He must have been.
No, never been
subbed. Punches,
never been subbed.
Decisions. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, that kind of changes the game.
Yeah, no, I'm going with your pick.
TKO?
Yeah.
What round? Second or first?
I'm going second. I feel like he kind of wings it out and just kind of. I think it's just going to be like this bullshit where they're just gauging each other the whole time and just like. He comes in and like fucking feints, like swings wild or some shit, and then Gall just kind of just stays back and then like clips him a couple times.
See, that's exactly why I think Diego's gonna get murdered on the feet, is because I think he's gonna rush in at Gall, and I think especially training with dudes like Joe Schilling and Eve Edwards, especially at Eve Edwards, you gotta imagine Gall is working on sprawling at 90 degrees and hitting big right hands and takedowns. Or I mean, big right hands and knees, or not knees, sorry, elbows, and just like or uppercuts, just like big counter shots that are easily avoidable for takedowns. Because Eve fought a lot of those motherfuckers. Like Dean Thomas is a great example. Dudes who will just go after you with the grappling and cause you fucking problems. And I feel like the combination of working with Joe Schilling on a stand-up and living with Eve Edwards for the last year, I feel like that's gotta lean in Gall's favor. So yeah,
it's a deadly fucking combo right there. Yeah. I can't disagree with that at all.
For sure. So, cool. Let's keep on moving on.
I was gonna say real quick, what you are gonna disagree with are the odds though.
Oh, dude, I'm sure Diego Sanchez is like he can be a big favorite. I would say like minus 130.
He's not the favorite, but
Really?
no. So
I'm surprised.
it's a minus. So one of the odds, the widest I've seen, is a minus 250 in golf for favor of Gall to plus 200 for
What?
Diego.
Oh my god, that's too big.
Yeah,
That's
but the odds
way
I
too
was
big.
going to pick was minus 215 and plus 195, but in favor of Gall.
Still too big. That's
out of
still
all
too
these,
big. I would say
Diego-
like 150 Gall to minus 100, like 120 Diego. That seems big as fuck.
Yeah,
That's
those
kind
are
of
the
crazy.
closest odds, unfortunately, out of all those so far.
That's weird.
Shit. Anyhow, this next fight we have coming up is a bantamweight bout.
Yeah, I
between
don't have a ton
American
to say
fighter-
about this one.
Neither do I. Cody, the Spartan Stamen, record of 17-2, going up against I don't know if he's strictly a Mexican fighter or Mexican American. Oh no, he's a Mexican fighter. He's from Aguascalientes, Mexico. Alejandro Perez, Turbo. Yeah, he was definitely on tough Latin America.
Land of the hot water.
Land of the hot water. That's right.
Aguas Calientes.
So last time we saw Stamen, not Cayman. Oh yeah, he got knee barred by Aljamain Sterling. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
to be fair, in a scrappy ass fight.
Yeah, I like this guy's stand up. He's kind of has like that Chad Mendez stocky short wrestler build, but for like
Definitely.
135, throws like really hard shots.
Yeah.
Alejandro Perez also has a lot of pop in his hands. He's a decent boxer. He's not
Really
he's
good
not
jab,
very
really
technical.
good leg kicks.
Yeah. So this is going to be a really. I'll just say this. I think this is going decision. I think it's going to be these two guys are just. I think this will probably be a decent fight to watch.
I
These
think
guys
it'll be
are
a
just
lot of
throwing
fun.
hands.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Perez, Alejandro Perez in this one. I think his striking will kind of outdo Stamen's. I don't really recall Stamen's a wrestler. I think he has wrestling, but I haven't seen him fight enough, so I can't be unfair and kind of give judgment towards a fight or some sort of analysis that I don't have. But instinctively, I'm going to go with Alejandro Perez.
Really?
Decision, yeah.
So you're on Perez decision?
Yeah.
I think that. Oh man. So this is, I think, one of the closest fights on the card for sure. I think I'm going to take Cody via decision also. The problem is, I think if Cody just tries to fight on the feet the entire fight, I think he's going to eat too many jabs and probably lose a close decision. However, I think Cody probably will get to the fight to the ground at some point. And if he does at all get the fight to the ground, I think he's going to win that round off of a very close decision. Every round he does it. And he's very good at, I can't remember what his last fight was, but I know he did actually it was the Aljo fight, if I remember right. He got Aljo to the ground at the end of the first, and it made it kind of close. And I know he has a history of that. So I'm actually going to lead Simon via decision against Perez, but I'm not like ultra confident. I think it's going to be a very close fight either way.
So I'll ask you, and this is going to be a close fight. What do you think the odds are?
Also, shouts out to Matt Cote, who I believe is leaning Perez via decision. I believe that's what he's saying.
Which Costco brand Golden Margarita Mix. Sorry for the quick plug, but good.
What's that?
The old Costco Margarita Mix. Shouts out to
Kirkland.
Kirkland brand. I just had to plug that real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cody via decision, but yeah, I'm not ultra confident. I think it's gonna be a very scrappy, very fucking tough out. I think I could see it going split decision either way because of it. I think a lot of the fight's gonna come down to what do you give more credit to, takedowns or shots landed.
That's a good point. As far as control too, some might lean towards someone who lands the takedowns and actual takedowns, not mat returns. Even though I know in some instances judges have kind of overlooked that whole thing. So
yeah, shots to some fighters that may or may not come up later on this card.
Yeah. So the odds on this, I was going to ask you, who do you think's the favorite? I feel like you kind of have a good idea, but I'll say it. It's Stamen is the favorite, -200 to a +170. I don't know what you think of that.
For which?
For in favor of Stamen. He's
that's
-200.
way too wide.
Yeah.
I would like a 150 +120, something like that. Perez at a minus, like that seems -170 for Stamen sounds very confident in his cardio and his ability to not just eat jabs, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this: one fight that makes me nervous, but for the wrong
is
reason.
this next one and everyone after this actually?
Yeah. So this is Misha Serkinov versus Johnny Walker Red, as Eugene S. Robinson calls him. It's between a veteran and a young prospect.
To be fair, I feel like he's probably Johnny Walker Blue, not Johnny Walker Red. And
I think if he becomes champion, you can call him Blue.
No, you can call him Black when he becomes. Or no, you're right. I'm in Black, not Blue.
No, Red's the worst one. That's why Eugene says we have to start him at Red. Then he wins and he sends to Black, which is what we usually drink.
Right.
Then after that, it goes to.
See, I hate Johnny Walker in general because it's overpriced. So, like, we should call him Monkey Shoulder, which sounds racist. So.
That's probably why we shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm just saying it's a better blended Scotch.
You're not wrong. I agree with you there.
Not wrong.
Misha Serkinov, where's this guy from? Is he from Austria or some shit? I always forget.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think he's from Austria. Oh, he's from Latvia. Way off.
Latvia. My favorite of the Eastern European countries. Only because I did a report on him in 8th grade.
Okay. That's
literally the only reason.
Last time I saw Misha Serkinov, he submitted Patrick Cummings in October of last year via arm triangle choke. Before that, he had a bit of a layoff. No, he fought twice in 2017, but he had lost to Glover Teixeira and Volkan Oezdemir. Oh, he got viciously knocked out. Oh, that's when Volkan killed him in 30 seconds. Yikes. So he has a history of getting knocked out by violent one-punch power. So he didn't have that going for him. However, the one thing he hasn't going for him is we still haven't really seen much of Johnny Walker. Because, well, let's look at this. Last time Johnny Walker fought, he knocked out Justin Ledet in 15 seconds.
Fucking, that is an understatement. That was almost killed Justin Ledet 3 times in 15 seconds.
That was one of the most athletic knockouts I've ever seen. Mostly because he already threw that kick, and then he was already like halfway spinning back. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Especially for someone who's 6'6", that was very scary. He murdered Khalil Roundtree in a clinch with some elbows 2 minutes into the first round. So the last time he went to a decision versus Luis Enrique de Silva on Dana White's Contender Series. Yeah, this dude just has knockout, knee knockout, guillotine.
He's had a crazy run.
Lost punches. He got knocked the fuck out. Okay, so he's got knocked the fuck out way back when. Or not way, but Jungle Fight like 3 years ago. I'm just kind of see where his chin's at. He's been submitted. It doesn't matter now. What matters now is you have momentum on your side. You're going to be against a scrappy veteran in Misha Serkinov, who can hit pretty hard too, but he's known for his submission, his grappling. This is I feel like it's kind of closer than people should really think it is.
Super closer than people are giving you credit for. I agree. This is a coin flip for me, honestly. Just because of the
and I'll just say this. I'll be honest
right now. Question of whether or not Johnny Walker's able to murder a man in 30 seconds.
My brain really wants to go Serkinov because I feel like he's going to be able to gauge and kind of close. But this fight reminds me of last week's fight with Blachowicz and Santos, and it's like you have a really crafty and smart fighter who's a grappler, and Blachowicz looked good in that fight up until he got knocked out. Like he was playing it smart. He was piecing up Santos, and I feel like this is what's going to happen. But when round 2 comes along, Johnny Walker's like, fuck it. And I think he's going to throw the kitchen sink and catch him with something, and it's going to be night-night because Yeah, I have a bad feeling, and I know the UFC. I know Damien's gonna fuck this up terribly. What's gonna happen is Johnny Walker wins. Santos will get the next title shot. Sure, it's light heavyweight, right? And then eventually he'll fight Jones or whoever, or Smith, and Johnny Walker will get thrown in. He'll get like one more fight against someone else. He probably also has KO power. Probably like a Dominic Reyes, who will probably win his. You know what I mean? I feel like they're gonna just have people killing each other off, and it's like basically it's gonna be a point of who's gonna be the last man stand punch KO guys. Like Santos, Walker, Reyes.
It's definitely one of those.
But no, I like Walker in this. If he loses, I'm not surprised, but I'm going against my brain here and going with kind of my gut instinct, saying I think Walker catches him with some gnarly shit.
First, I'm guessing.
No, I got it actually in the second round only because Serkinov is smart like Blachowicz and that he's not going to like rush in and clinch with him, and I think he's going to really just keep his distance if he can. I know Walker's explosive. If he gets knocked the fuck out in the first, okay, sure. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No. Never mind. I take that back. I'm going Walker knockout via the first because history always repeats itself eventually, and I'm not saying it's gonna be in like 30 seconds, but no, he's getting knocked out in the first. I like Walker being knockout first round. I'm just gonna stick with that.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck it, dude.
That's so the problem is
it's bold.
I'm having trouble taking Johnny Walker in this fight just because I've seen enough of his fights to know that if anyone tries to wrestle him, he quickly devolves into a regional MMA fighter. At least like in some of his fights that he's had in the past. So I think I'm taking Misha Serkinov via sub in the first. You had Walker via KO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Serkinov via sub
I like that
first.
Serkinov's just an arm triangle machine.
Well, not even that. It's just I think Serkinov has had more experience in higher level competition, and I think it's going to be very difficult for all Serkinov has to do is decide to not exchange with Johnny Walker on the feet and make this shit ugly as hell. And I think he gets the finish. So I'm going to take sub via first, probably either RNC or arm triangle. But if he at all either gets into weird clinch exchanges with Walker where he gets elbowed / kneed to death, or if he at all thinks he can just hang at the outside range with Walker, it's going to be real fucking bad, real fucking quick. But it's hard for me to pick against the experienced Serkinov in that one.
Yeah.
What do the odds look like on that? I gotta imagine Walker's a pretty big favorite.
Minus 150 to plus 130.
Wait, who's what?
Walker's a minus 150 to plus 130. Serkinov.
That's not. Wow. I would expect different odds. I don't know how I would expect it to look different. I don't know. I would expect one of them to be bigger favorite than the other. I'm guessing the line got bet back down a lot. Because if I remember right, I think I remember hearing Walker was a much bigger favorite earlier on. I think the line got bet back down. But that's interesting, especially at those odds. There's some interesting fucking bets on this card.
So this next fight has been going a little bit back and forward with, for good reason, and this has fight of the night written all over it, if you ask me.
Oh, this is my second favorite fight of the night, I would say.
Yeah. So we have American fighter Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens, who's fighting out of San Diego, California for the past.
Goddamn right.
Alliance. Going up against Russian fighter Zabit Magomed Sharipov, also known as Zabraham Lincoln, whatever you want to call him. Honest Zabe. He looks like Abraham Lincoln. Kind of.
I mean, yeah. He looks like a Russian Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. So Jeremy Stevens, last time we saw him, he fought Jose Aldo last July. which was essentially going to be a potential like push for the title shot for Stevens. He got knocked out via a vicious body punch to the liver from Aldo, which crumpled Stevens, and Aldo finished him. Stevens was on a run. He had finished Gilbert. He went to decision to Gilbert Melendez because that dude has a fucking heart. Destroyed that dude's leg.
It was ridiculous. And
he ended up knocking out 2 other knockout artists in Doo-Ho Choi and Josh Emmett.
People sleep on Jeremy Stevens' calf kick game as of late, and especially his giant fucking hook power.
So this guy, Zabit or Zabist, whatever you want to call him, he fights out of the Mark Henry Ricardo Almeida camp in Toms River, New Jersey, somewhere around there. It's the same camp as Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez, and Edson Barboza. A lot of killers up there. Caitlin Chukagian. You get the Zabit has looked incredible. He's 6'1", which is crazy for featherweight. Holy shit. He's undefeated, I believe. Nope. He has 1 loss on his record way back in the day in 2013. But
who's that, Zabit?
Yeah, Zabit.
Is that back in ACB or something?
He lost in Pro FC 47 in Russia.
Sure, that sounds like a promotion in Russia.
Yeah. Other than that, this dude is very versatile, but the most impressive ones I've seen have been via submission. This dude, it seems flexible as fuck. When I look at this, initially, I think Jeremy Stevens' edge, and he could stand in the pocket without anyone. He's not afraid to fucking trade leather. Dude throws hard as fuck. Hits hard. I haven't really seen Zabit's chin really be tested, except in that fight against Kyle Bochniak at the end of that 3rd round. He was getting hit really hard, but taking it.
Well, that was the thing. He started fading a little bit in that 3rd round, and Bochniak took the fucking crane to him.
I like Zabit, but I'm going with Stevens mainly because I've seen he can really tear your leg up on the outside.
That's calf kick, bro.
Yeah. That's going to be Zabit's bread and butter. He's just going to stick with those teeps on the outside, and he's going to go some crazy spinning shit. I don't expect any sort of grappling in this fight, really, at all. If it does go to the ground, Stevens does have a good sprawl. I can't really recall how his jiu-jitsu is. I know Zabit has decent jiu-jitsu.
We haven't seen him on – we haven't seen Stevens on the bottom in a while.
In a long time, though. So, but I'm going to go with my gut here. I think Stevens, this is a 3-round fight. I kind of want to – yeah, I'm going to go with it. I think he's going to get a late TKO in the 3rd round. To be one of those where it's kind of like it's very competitive for the first 2 rounds, but once he starts eating up just those outside leg kicks, Zabit's not going to be able to move. He can't really kind of go with that spinning shit that he does so well. And I don't want to disrespect him in calling that. It's a lot of it kind of looks like I don't want to say kickboxing technique. Some of it looks Taekwondo-esque because that dude could throw a spinning heel kick pretty fucking well, especially for that frame. So don't get me wrong. If anyone gets clipped by that, they're going night-night. So I know Zabit can catch Stevens too. But no, I just like Stevens in this fight a lot. I want to take Zabit, but I just have to go Stevens, and I'm going late TKO finish in the 3rd round. It's going to be a hell of a fight, though.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take Stevens as well. I think he's going to TKO Zabit in the second. I think most of it's going to be to him landing the hard fucking calf kicks and then coming over the top with big fucking hooks. But man, would I not be surprised by Zabit to come up with something crazy out of nowhere, especially if Zabit gets crafty in grappling exchanges. Like, if there's some wild ass scrambles, I would not be surprised at all if Zabit catches something crazy. But man, I mean, we're in San Diego. I feel like I probably have to disclaim that, like, yeah, that's probably why I'm taking Jeremy Stevens in this. It's combo of that and him looking so fucking good against dudes like Brian Ortega in the past. Because he fought Brian Ortega looking real good, right? Am I mixing that up?
I don't think he ever fought Ortega.
No, you're right. I'm thinking, sorry. I'm thinking Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
That Josh Emmett win and the Duo Choi win, like, I heard him recently speak on, I forget which podcast it was. He talked about for the Jose Aldo fight, the reason why he feels like he lost that is because he had some really serious like body injury issues going into that fight and had some weight dropping issues. So I feel like that may have played into it, but I gotta lean Jeremy Stephens, mostly just because, man, it's hard not to root for Jeremy Stephens after some of the recent news that came out too.
Yeah, I for anyone who deals with that kind of stuff.
This is a 100% biased pick. Let me not at all dissuade you from thinking that I am biased as fuck about this. 100% biased.
I'm biased.
Yeah.
So, the odds on this one, what do you? I mean, I
gotta imagine.
I'll just say this: they're all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I would think that Zabit is probably like not super, super favored, but
I feel like that's the best. I mean,
yeah,
it's a hard pick.
Give me the range on it.
He's a minus 245 to a plus 225. Zabit's being a slight favorite.
Wait, say that again? Sorry. So there's hella squeaking happening by me.
So Zabit would be the minus 245 to a plus 225.
I heard minus 225 and minus 225. Minus 225 plus 225. Is that what that was?
So Zabit minus 245, 245 to a plus 225 for Stephens.
That is way too big.
But it's still big. Yeah.
I don't hate those odds, but I would play the fuck out of Jeremy. Like, what's Jeremy Stephens by KO right now?
Let's find out.
Because that's, if you're going to take Stephens, you got to take him to KO, TKO. And probably
100%. Stephens wins by TKO KO plus 364.
That's real okay. Like, if you want a trash parlay, that is a good trash parlay ad.
That's not bad. So this next fight, we'll kind of keep this going. Oh shit. Yeah, all right. I'll get, because I kind of have to piss my pants, but it's all good. We'll get this going. It'll be all right.
Go ahead and say the next one, then you can go to. Oh god, I just punched the fucking mic stand.
I'll have
go
you
ahead and announce the next one, and go take a piss, and I'll do this. Make sure to kill your mic though, so we don't have to hear you pee.
Yeah. So this next fight, and I can hang for this fight. I'll be okay. So we have a bantamweight bout between former bantamweight champion Cody No Love Garbrandt going up against Brazilian fighter Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. The last time we saw Cody fight, he fought too soon, if you ask me. And he got knocked out for a second time in a row against current champion TJ Dillashaw, this time in an embarrassing fashion. That was not a good look for Cody. I was very disappointed in how he fought in that fight based on how the peak Cody Garbrandt we've seen, hence that Dominic Cruz fight. Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, he definitely... At a certain point during that fight, he just stopped giving a fuck and was like, "Oh, we're just throwing. All right, cool. Let's just throw, bro."
To me, is like a Brazilian Uriah Faber because he wins a lot by guillotine choke.
Matt Cole totally nailed it, or Matt Cote. Sorry, Patrick's cousin. He totally nailed it in the chat. He's right. He completely won. Or he had TJ in the first round, and TJ got saved by the bell.
Oh, 100%. The first time, yeah, 100%. Yeah, he would have ended that fight. So I'll just say this right now. I think Cody Garbrandt's winning this fight. I'm not taking anything away from Pedro Munoz. He's got great – he has great submission skills if you could continually pull that shit off when you get your opponent to the ground. I get that. However, Cody Garbrandt is absolutely fantastic sprawler and wrestler in general. He's a very good defensive wrestler. I don't see this being able to go to the ground. I know – the only X factor to me is how is Cody's back. I know he's had some surgeries and some stem cell injections to repair his back. Hearing from what Dominic Cruz has had to say about stem cell injections, they're good for a couple of months until you have to get surgery. So that's my X factor going into this is how is his back going to look? Because there is no fucking way, and no one's going to convince me that Pedro Munoz into his camp is like, yeah, let's practice standing in the pocket with someone like Cody Garbrandt. No. That's not going to fucking happen. He's not going to stand in the pocket with Cody, whose hands are just way too fast for anyone at that weight class. I don't care who the fuck's fighting Cody. His hands are just too quick. He can catch anyone. So that's why I'm going with Cody. If Pedro's going to win, I feel like he's going to have to get him in the clinch, get some sort of underhook, and maybe trip Cody, some shit like against the fence, and then get him with some sort of guillotine. I just don't see Pedro winning this fight. I like Pedro Munoz a lot. The only other way he can win is if he clips Cody. Cody's chins hadn't been looking too good when he keeps that shit up. As good as a boxer as he is, as explosive and fast as he is, his chin, I don't know. I know TJ hits pretty hard for that weight class, but yeah, I have to go with Cody here. His hands are just too quick. He's got great defensive wrestling. He has good sprawl. My main concern is how's his back. He's going to be able to get that sprawl because there's no way Munoz is not shooting. Munoz could be shooting a lot.
So what method are you on that?
I got TKO round 2. I think round 1 it's going to be very kind of more like chess match. One of that bullshit thing where everyone starts booing because they don't know what the fuck's going on. Cody will kind of dart in a couple times. I think he's be just stuffing a lot of takedowns. And then when he'll also be tired, round 2, Cody will just find him like in a feint and kind of get him with like a counter or some shit like that. That's kind of how I could just see it, at least now. So.
Yeah.
So you guys are entertaining in the chat?
Yeah, no, I've been kicking the chat. Go ahead and say again. Wait, I got distracted by the fucking chat. Shouts out to Matt Cote, Patrick Cote's obvious long lost brother. What was your decision on Cody? How'd you think he's taking it? KO?
Yeah, like TKO, KO round 2, something like that, early round 2.
See, that's interesting because the thing I mostly am unsure of in this fight is I don't know Cody's headspace. Like, I feel like if at all they go to war in the pocket, I think Cody is in trouble. However, I think if Cody's able to just work a game plan and stand on the outside and pick somebody apart as they're coming in, I think he beats Pedro Munoz. However, it's a thing where if Pedro Munoz lands anything significant, does Cody just plant his feet and fucking throw bombs for 3 minutes straight? And I feel like he kind of does. It's hard to see anything other than that. So I've been having a lot of trouble picking this one, to be honest. Jesus. I guess I'm leaning here. Wait, let me look at Go ahead and crawl under the camera. Crazy girlfriend in the background. Or you can just walk past. I don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, like, don't like fucking do pirouettes or anything, is all I'm saying.
What are you doing pirouettes?
So god damn. So the only thing is, like, Pedro Munoz has fought nowhere near the level of competition and has, like, while he styled on Brian Caraway and got a decision win over Brett Johns, it doesn't do enough for me at this point in his career.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
God, just on the matchup alone, I would think this is going to decision. God damn it. I guess I'm taking Cody by decision, but I don't feel good about it.
It's not a bad pick, though. Pedro has a fucking chin from last time I recall.
That's the thing is, like, I would not be at all surprised if Pedro wins this decision. I just don't feel good about picking Cody via decision, and I don't feel good about picking Pedro via decision. I just don't have any real confidence one way or the other in the way this fight's going to play out. I think a lot of it's going to come down to how much Cody sits in the pocket when he gets hit. Like, if Cody plants his feet and tries to wing bombs when he gets hit, I think he's fucked. But if Cody had all learned from his last loss and learned, hey, if I get fucking caught square on the chin, maybe don't just stand there and keep throwing bombs, Like, I feel like that'd be a good life lesson. But
yeah,
then again,
I'm not at a loss of words. I'm just kind of like, fuck. I'm like trying to run all these different scenarios in my head.
It's a back and forth kind of pick, to be fair. Like, I consider that fight mostly coin flip, and I would imagine the odds are pretty similar.
Yeah. Speaking of the odds, so you said you have Cody as well, right? And did you say you're going decision or are you going finish? Because I'm going
decision, but I don't feel good about it.
Okay. So the odds, they're all pretty similar across the board. The ones I'm looking at right now, Garbrandt is at a -142 to a +132 Munoz.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. It's funny. I just downloaded the YouTube app. I didn't know that's when you can actually look at the chat. So I was wondering.
Oh yeah, the homies kicking chat. Shouts to Matt Cote, Patrick Cote's clear brother. That's definitely who that is. Shouts to Blight Speedy. He's definitely not doing any meth. And shouts to all the other homies, including your brother. Oh, and also shouts to CMA.
What the fuck is that thumbnail? What is that thumbnail? What the fuck?
I didn't even see the thumbnail, so way to go. Yeah,
no,
Matt Cote, brothers till the end.
No, I'm CMAD. I'm the one with that's like my YouTube account since forever
look
ago.
at your fucking whack ass YouTube account name.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Actually, all right, let's keep on moving on.
But yeah, actually, or should I piss? I don't even fucking know. Who the fuck is next? Maybe you should just take over.
Yeah, here, go ahead and mute your mic. I'll take a piss. I will do this one.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Make sure to mute your mic though, or else everybody's gonna hear
it's muted.
Piss. All right, R.I.P. Chris. He's now no longer with us. He'll hopefully make it back. Okay. Well, drunk girlfriend Karen is luckily with this in the background. Tisha Torres is taking on Weili Zhang, which I am fucking ecstatic about this fight. I think it's one of the better fights on the main card. I'm excited they put it on the main card. I think it's a fucking fantastic style matchup. To be fair, I know that Tisha Torres is coming off 2 losses to Jessica Andrade and Joanna Jacek. And Weili Zhang is pretty green in as far as UFC experience goes. She has won over Danielle Taylor, who has almost no reach and was getting bombed on by everybody. But she did have the dominant win over Jessica Taylor, which is pretty impressive. Let's see. Matt Cote. My family name is Pulver. Pulver, like Jens. So shouts out to you, bruh. But yeah, Tisha Torres versus Weili Zhang. So I think this is a fucking fantastic style matchup. I think this mostly comes down to whether or not Tisha Torres wins or loses most of the grappling exchanges, especially the strength-induced grappling style exchanges, because I feel like a lot of this is going to come down to the clinch. Weili Zhang, I think Tisha Torres clearly has the distance advantage on the outside. Hey, Matt Cote, I love you, bro. But yeah, no, I feel like Weili Zhang, if this at all closes the distance and it becomes grappling exchanges, it becomes very difficult for Tisha. Unless Tisha gets top control, I think she's fucked. She also has a size disadvantage, which I think is going to be very tough in the long run. But if Tisha's able to stay on the outside and work her kick game, especially, or like long outside strikes and circling off, I think she's going to do all right. I have trouble seeing a way where she works that game plan over a full 3 rounds. I think Tisha's going to start out doing well with that. I think she is probably going to get stuck in the in-between, especially in clinch exchanges, which she tends to engage. And I think if this goes into clinch exchanges, I think Weili Zhang has the strength and size advantage. And if she gets on top, it's going to be – I think Weili Zhang is going to get the decision, not any kind of finish. But I do think Weili Zhang is probably going to be able to outwork Tisha Torres on top, and they're just a ground and pounder enough to keep the ref off of her, but not to put her away. Tisha Torres, like I said, is very scrappy. Also trains with Raquel Pennington, which I'm a longtime fan of and a longtime supporter of. But I think the problem is Weili Zhang. I think the clinch exchanges is the big problem. If this became an outside fight, I think Tisha Torres could stay very competitive, especially with the kicks. But as soon as this, if Weili at all is able to clamp down on the clinch exchanges, which, to be fair, Tisha also tends to not be able to stay fully on the outside. She tends to collapse the pocket as she strikes. I think in the long run, that's going to be her detriment. So I'm going to take Weili Zhang probably. I've been going back and forth on the method on this one. I'm probably going to go Weili Zhang via decision. I'm not really confident in it, though.
I'll say this. I like Zhang via decision. I think she's going to be too big physically for Torres, like you were just mentioning. It's going to come down to the clinch, either underhooks, and just kind of. I mean, the last time I saw Torres fight, it was against Joanna. And didn't Joanna kind of start beating her up in the clinch? She had like the short elbows. She had the knees. She was just way too physical for Torres. And it's just one of those kind of fights where if you're physically outmatched by your opponent, it's only your superior skill or technique that can really kind of get around that obstacle.
Well, yeah, Tisha's last two opponents were Andrade and Ian Jacek, and she got dominated by both of them in grappling exchanges.
Yeah, that's just absolutely nuts. Especially, I mean, not saying Zhang is on the level of an Andrade and Ian Jacek, but from what I've seen from Zhang, she's very versatile. I think she's a kickboxer. I think she knows Muay Thai as well. I think she's one of the more well-rounded fighters, at least out of China, which is exciting for them. But no, I like Zhang in this fight via decision as well.
For sure. Well, since you just took a piss, I'm going to take a piss, and you can go ahead and start on Robbie versus Askren, and I will jump in and yell all about how Askren is the man and how he's going to stuff. Sorry, I muted myself in the middle of that. How he's going to stuff all of Robbie's takedowns. I'll be right back.
So before I get into Askren and Lawler, I'm going to go ahead once this loads up because this is kind of fucked up. I want to just let you guys know what the odds are for Tisha Torres versus Weili Zhang if this ever loads. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and talk about Askren versus Lawler. Okay, never mind. This thing is all sorts of fucked up. So let me go ahead and backtrack here. So the next fight we got up, like I just mentioned, is Ruthless Robbie Lawler, the former welterweight champion who was on a fucking incredible run at one point just a couple of years ago, going up against Funky Ben Askren, who you may or may not know from in the wrestling world, was a two-time NCAA champion as well as a two-time winner of the Jim Hodge Award? Or basically, it's wrestling's equivalent of a Heisman Trophy. I think only two other guys have ever done that besides Askren, so he's in great company there. He also made the USA Olympic wrestling team in 2008, which is fucking insane because that's really difficult to do. Anyways, Robbie Lawler, he's a veteran. He's been fighting since I think he was in the UFC in 2002. That's the earliest fight I know him from. Yeah, 2002. The dude's been in it forever. He was like 20 years old when he started out. Last time we saw him, he lost to Rafael dos Anjos. Oh, shit. Okay, so a year and a half ago, December 2017. So he's had some time off. I know he got beat up pretty badly in that fight, especially against the fence. He took like a fucking 30-hit combo. The dude's just raw and tough as hell. Ben Askren, as far as grappling goes in mixed martial arts and how good can you possibly be in grappling, Ben Askren just kind of just takes the cake, really. The dude is just no one is really as good as him. I know some people kind of point to like a Khabib Nurmagomedov as far as maybe like a top pressure game goes, which is why they've called for that fight, maybe like a 165 if that ever happens. But last time Ben Askren fought was November of 2017. I'm not going to say he was beating up cans because that's not fair. He was beating up veterans.
He was beating up dudes no one knew in Asia.
Yeah. Like Shinya Aoki was someone he beat the shit out of. Was his last
Well,
fight.
to be fair, Shinya Aoki people know of, but like also it's like beating up Diego Sanchez nowadays. Like, doesn't do a lot for you.
So I agree with you. This goes one of two ways, which is what everyone else has been talking about. Either it's going to be probably some sort of, I don't know if it's early knockout. I think Askren has a good chin by Lawler, or it's just going to be a decision, or I don't know. I want to believe Askren can get a TKO if it was a 5-round fight, via the ground and pound, but this is a 3-round fight. So my take is Askren unanimous decision. I think he just keeps Lawler on the ground every single round of the fight, almost every minute. I think Askren. I don't think Lawler's going to have really much of a choice. I think Askren's one of those fighters where he brings his style of fight to you. It doesn't matter what the fuck you can do. Like, oh, you want to stand bang on a pocket outside? Try to shoot from my single attempt or something, or my feint, and then Lawler's gonna be, oh shit, fuck, and he'll clip Askren a couple of times. He's gonna hit him up with some good shots. But when Askren has that forward momentum, I remember who was it? Was it Tyron Woodley? He was talking about Askren had like those grip strength techniques where he's like, this dude would be in practice holding a soccer ball like this as hard as he can. And most people are like, oh shit, my arms get tired after like a minute. He can hold like 5 minutes. It's like, motherfucker, that's insane.
Well, yeah, there's all those footage of him fucking crushing watermelons too, just with straight forearm strength and shit. Like, Askren's a fucking freak. Don't let it be slept on. That motherfucker is crazy.
Yeah, so I have Askren via unanimous decision.
Yeah, so I actually
I think he makes it look easy. It's one of those where like, oh fuck, and I don't say all the casuals because it's I get it if you haven't heard Askren. They'll be like, oh shit, this guy's kind of like Habib, some shit like that. Like,
yeah. No, I've got Askren 30-26 probably in this fight via decision. Matt Cote brought up in chat the exact fucking thing I was thinking, which is if you're the training partner of Woodley for the lead up to the fucking Usman fight, like, number one, I already think Askren is a far better wrestler than Robbie, and while Robbie is a tough out for Askren, one of the tougher outs in the division, honestly, for Askren, I just think that Askren's level of wrestling and training with somebody like Woodley, who's preparing for a Division II champion, it's hard to think anything's gonna happen other than he's gonna duck a fucking swarm by Robbie, and he's gonna end up, very worst case, putting him in an over-under against the cage, and from there working singles to double transitions and getting him down. It's a hard fucking out in the long run, and if Robbie does get this win, it will be fucking huge. It'll be humongous for Robbie's career. It'll be a huge resurgence.
Yeah.
It also puts him probably back in title contention, I would argue. Like, fucking up the champ's boy like that, which I imagine he has to do to win this fight, would be pretty fucking big deal. But it's a tough out. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm leaning. I'm going Askren decision as well. I can see Askren catching a sub, but I think Robbie's too fucking tough and too fucking scrambly, and it's been around for too long. And so yeah, I think Askren's gonna just pummel him for 3 rounds.
And I was going to say real quickly, the odds on the Torres Zhang fight were a -125 for Weili Zhang to a +115 Torres. The odds on this fight are a -250 in favor of Ben Askren to +230 for Robbie Lawler.
That seems too wide.
Yeah.
Because for Askren to win this fight, it's a much taller order than for Robbie too. Because all Robbie has to do is land a fucking uppercut and a couple bombs behind it. And like
Yeah,
that's super
like a
fucking
short clinch
possible.
exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with Askren not having fought. I mean, he fought Shinya Aoki, but he hasn't fought big name competition in a long time.
That he is not.
And like, while I am leaning Askren hard, that's Robbie Lawler's never an easy out. Like that's never happened where Robbie Lawler's I'm just fighting Robbie Lawler, no big deal.
So this next fight, is interesting. It's the defending reigning welterweight champion going up for his 5th title defense, Tyron the Chosen One Woodley, who's going up against, as you might know him, Marty from Nebraska.
Oh, speaking of Askren.
Yes, speaking of Marty from Nebraska, Kamaru Usman. I know him from when he won the Ultimate Fighter Black Zillions versus American Top Team. That was a fun season.
Yeah, I've been high on that. I've been high on Usman for a while, since he was in Titan back in the day, where he would do some commentary with John Morgan like for a fucking ever ago. Like, people don't realize Kamaru Usman's been around for a fucking while down in Florida, and he's been showing out.
So last time we saw the defending champion Woodley, he, I wouldn't say he ended the hype train, but at the time he submitted Darren Till, knockout artist Darren Till, British striker Darren Till, whatever you want to call him, with a Darce choke at the end of the 2nd round. That was a fight in which Darren Till landed 0 punches, 0 strikes, really. He did surprisingly well as far as his sprawl, but not really, because he had a cage against him, so he kind of had the. I mean, he has the size advantage, don't get me wrong, but that was kind of interesting how that went down. Either way, Woodley caught him with the big fucking short right, sent him to the canvas, and then Till's got a chin. That's all I'm going to say. He was surviving a lot of fucking gnarly elbows, but he didn't get submitted. That's just Woodley showing how versatile he is. Last time we saw Kamaru Usman, he defeated Rafael dos Anjos in a 5-round unanimous decision where his striking, he kind of let go. I know he's been pretty tentative with the strikes before. He kind of just goes with the jab and he just commits, he circles outside and goes with like a straight.
Well, he works at pressure wrestling a majority of the time with hooks on his way inside. Like,
he'd also beat Damian Maia, and Woodley made the point of, I kind of wrote the blueprint on Maia. Because
100% Woodley did, yeah.
Once Woodley did, look what Covington did to Maia too. Covington bloodied him up, who's also a good wrestler. Well, after Covington's D1, right? More because I know. Don't get me wrong, Usman is a great wrestler too.
Usman's D2, I know, champ.
I know, yeah. So I'm just saying,
I believe,
levels to
I believe
shit,
Covington's D1, but I'm bad at that kind of stuff.
Which is why I kind of still want to see, and I still think it happens. I still think Covington fights Usman at some point. I don't think they're gonna definitely not do that. I think that has to happen at some point down the road.
I think they're just praying Tyron loses, and then they go for that.
Just give the next shot to Covington or some bullshit like that. Yeah,
that's what I would imagine. Is they just really want Covington to lose, or sorry, Tyron to lose. Like however it happens.
But Usman's had an impressive little win streak. He defeated Emil Mech at only 30%. That's pretty impressive to me.
That's true. He was only 30%. Although he literally
let me see how many knockouts does this guy have. He has 1, or finishes 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's funny in that press conference, 6 knockout finishes, like tied for the 3rd most or 2nd most in the UFC. Usman's like, I have 6 as well. It's like, no, not in the UFC. Their sport.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He is.
You have one.
He's got a lot of decisions in the UFC.
Yeah, he's the decision guy in the UFC. He had that gnarly knockout against Sergio Moraes, but no. You don't have 6.
He face planted Sergio Moraes, but also Sergio Moraes is late as fuck in his career, and let's just say I'm not the only person that called that was going to happen in that fight.
I'll just say this. I think Tyron Woodley's winning this fight. I think he's winning via knockout. I think he tires out, and I know Usman has a good gas tank, but so does Tyron, because I remember Tyron's fights against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Like, oh, how's his gas tank going to be? He's going to gas so early. Look what happened to him against Rory McDonald. Yada yada yada. I don't want to hear that shit. It's just the fact of the matter is he has better wrestling than Usman. He definitely has better striking than Usman. You can't convince me of that otherwise. The only way I see Usman wins is if he catches him early, like some short outside shit. And Tyron doesn't keep a low guard. He keeps his shit high and tight and kind of feints a lot. So I think it's be one of those things where Usman's kind of doing his thing too and trying to emulate it, and he'll shoot in, and Tyron's just gonna be like crack, and I think he's just gonna fucking catch him when he's like coming in or trying to. I don't know. I just see him putting him the fuck down. I think it's gonna be second round, like kind of early-ish in the fight.
Yeah, so I don't super disagree with you, other than I feel like the only way for Usman to win is for this to go past 3 rounds. I feel like if this ends in the first 3 rounds, it's Tyron finishing him. I feel like if he gets past 3 rounds with Tyron's going to be throwing heaters for a lot of that. And that's when it could get interesting, to where we could end up, honestly, with another fucking split decision, to be fair. Or we can end up with a decision for Usman. And
yeah,
I'm curious to see how it goes. To be fair, I love watching wrestling exchanges where dudes are shutting down other dudes' wrestling games. I think it's
any sort
fucking
of
fascinating to watch. That's why I love it. That's why I love the Damian Maya fight. I was like, holy shit, he shut down every one of those fucking takedowns. But Usman's going to be way more dynamic with the takedowns. The problem is Usman is also way less dynamic on the feet. And it's hard to find a scenario where Usman's able to work consistent takedown games against Tyron without getting blasted behind the ear. Honestly, like kind of Conor McGregor style. Like, I feel like Tyron's probably going to blast an overhand right at some point on Usman, and that is a tough fucking out, man. Because if Tyron all catches dudes, it wobbles them so bad that starts making it very fucking difficult. So I am probably going Tyron Woodley. And the big difference between the two dudes, like, as much as I've been championing Usman as a motherfucker in this division, which I have been since his fucking Titan days, Usman also is him and Tyron are very similar, and he does not have the fucking power advantage. So for him to beat Tyron in this fight, I think he has to outwork Tyron. I think that's a tall fucking order, especially when he's training with dudes like Dean, who are very good at knowing how to shut down energy loss and knowing how to shut down the most explosive parts of other people's games, which Dean Thomas, I would argue, is one of the best in the world at. And he showed that amongst other moments. I know he helped game plan part of the Amanda Nunes Cyborg camp. So it's a tough fucking out, man. But yeah, I gotta lean Tyron probably via TKO second. But I don't feel confident in any part of any pick in this fight, because it's fucking it comes down to how much of a legend everybody is in this fight, really.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Connor Rebush and Phil McKenzie were discussing, out of all the fights on this card for it to be an upset, it's this one. They like Usman's upset chances. I don't disagree with their assessment of it. I'm still going with Woodley, round 2 finish, but yeah.
Yeah, Woodley TKO or sub or
TKO. Yeah, like ground and pound, something like that.
It's just hard to. I feel like if Woodley makes it out that third, it gets real fucking interesting real quick.
You're saying if Woodley makes it out of the third?
Sorry, if Usman makes it out of the third.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, if it gets out of the third, that fight gets interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the odds on this, for those curious, Woodley Is it minus 158 to a plus 148?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like it
doesn't seem too bad to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I would expect it to be more one way or the other, but I feel like that line probably moved a lot recently.
So,
and we're recording this the night before the card, so
yeah,
for the record.
So this brings us to the main event of the evening, which is crazy.
Also, we should acknowledge Matt Cote did bring up it's only 30% of Usman versus 100% of Tyron Woodley, so maybe we miscalculated on the math on that one.
Oh, shit. So, wow. Yeah, Usman has a handicap then to give him a better shot.
Unless Tyron is also 30% injured, which I would almost automatically assume based on every fucking fight that Tyron's been in, which he injures the shit out of his shoulder every fucking time. Dude's got more blown out shoulders than I do at this point. It's fucking ridiculous.
Definitely looking forward to this fight. This next fight, I am looking forward to just to see if there's a possibility of an upset. However, at this point, regardless of how many times John Jones pisses hot, which he did again, what was it, early this week?
It was like, 2 days ago?
Kind of.
Thursday?
Yeah, so he pissed hot again. And if for those who've been under a rock,
technically, Chris, he pissed clean because he's allowed to piss hot.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the amount of turinabol or was it turinabol or picograms or picograms of turinabol that he's pissing hot for. Other fighters have been suspended for about 2 years for the amount he's been pissing hot for. I think he's pissed hot 2 or 3 times in a row now within the past 4 or 5, 6 months.
But he also got clearance from he got clearance from Jeff and Visky that if you pop positive for a picogram, serve the sentence, and then pop positive for the M3 metabolite of turinabol, you're allowed to because it's technically double jeopardy. So I don't know if you saw that Madonna movie back in the day, but essentially do picogram or do hella turinabol and then just Madonna your way into title shots is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'll just say this. That's like saying
I want to say it was Madonna. Was it Madonna in that fucking Double Jeopardy movie?
I don't know, but all I want to say is that's like saying I get 10 years in prison for robbing a bunch of houses and breaking and entering. And they go, okay, you already served your time for breaking and entering, so we'll let you go rob a bunch of houses again for the next 5 years. You're good, Chris. You had your fill. You already did your time. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go do some B&E. So that checks out. I want to say I hope Anthony Smith survives 5 rounds in this fight. I really do hope he can. I don't see it happening. The only chance I really see him in this fight is if he blitzes Jones early. I know people
Ashley Judd. I apologize. It was Ashley Judd's hot ass in Double Jeopardy. Okay. Tommy Lee Jones, Ashley Judd, and Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell shouts out to
That's
Ash
right.
From
Yo, I've always considered Ashley Judd the John Jones of acting.
Okay. Sure. But yeah, man, I know a lot of other podcasts kind of discuss how the fucking Smith win. I think you really have to just not be tentative. You really, I can't remember the last time besides the Gustafsson 1 fight where someone literally brought it to Jones. Like, you get in his face and don't stop swinging. You just really have to
Vitor Belfort probably was the last one I remember.
Yeah, and Smith hits pretty fucking hard, I believe. I mean, really, anyone at that 205 weight class, you got to be throwing some leather. I mean, realistically, and that's the only way Jones. I think Smith, if he's gonna win, it's gonna be in round 1 or 2, and it's gonna be one of those things where and it's gonna be knockout. I could see submission because I know Smith said there's no way on earth that Jones is a better BJJ guy than me. And I believe him when he says that. Jones has more athleticism than him, is what I would believe. So that's why he's able to negate some of those lack of technique, because he's that fucking athletic. Look at his fucking family, dude. His younger brother. Yeah, I've already said it a million times. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, all his brothers are on all the real steroids where you get to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
But he's too skinny, so he can't.
The fact of the matter is I like Anthony Smith.
Oh wait,
a lot.
how's this one brother's career going in the NFL because of steroids? Is he going good?
Oh, you mean Chandler Jones? He's an All-Pro defensive end for the Arizona Cardinals. Going great. I think he had about like 15 sacks last year, or 12, 15. He's puts up solid
Never
numbers.
been popped, also, right?
I don't think he has. I
Really?
don't think he has.
I thought one of them did.
Arthur, his eldest brother, who doesn't play, did for sure, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the offensive lineman. But I'll look this up now that you said. So that's my bit. I think Jones wins round. End of round 1, TKO. I think hits him with the knee. I think he knees him right in the fucking face, and he just crumples to the mat. It's gonna be in the clinch. Smith's gonna be throwing some wild shit in the clinch. Jones will just bring that knee up, and it's lights out.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Oh god damn it! I'm gonna be that asshole, aren't I? I'm gonna be that dude, Chris, aren't I?
You going with Smith?
I can't fucking pick John Jones. I can't do it. I can't do it, man.
I mean, I don't like picking him.
What do you have in TKO round 2?
No, round 1. I think he's making Smith go night-night at the end of the first round. Smith will make it look competitive, but then he'll just get
God damn it.
He'll just be like,
there's no reason for me to pick Anthony Smith.
No,
but I don't think. So here's the problem. I always pick against Sean Jones. I've picked against Sean Jones for Jesus Christ, maybe this entire fucking podcast history. I just can't do it, man. I should do it.
So
I'm not gonna do it.
I would imagine if I were you, if I'm picking Smith,
you know what?
It's the first round or second round.
Yeah, no, you know what, Chris? I went 12-1 on last week's card, and I feel real good about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat a loss and say Anthony Smith via TKO round 2. Everybody eat a bag of dicks, and I'm totally not gonna be wrong.
If I were to pick, I think he clips Jones with a left hook and gets him with the overhand right elbow, like a short elbow to the temple.
See, I think he wins by John Jones breaking his own foot / leg / toe.
Oh, TKO. Oh,
yeah. Okay. And he wins via TKO as a result. Something like that. Or Anthony Smith clubs him behind the ear, and Conor McGregor's his way to a win. That could be a possibility. Maybe I'll go with that. Okay. I'll go Anthony Smith overhand right behind the ear, which gets John Jones off balance, and then just swarms to a rough Herb Dean TKO. I don't feel good about this pick. I don't even believe in this pick. Don't bet on this pick. But I can't not pick Anthony Smith because he's a way better dude, and I like him a whole lot. And I'm not picking it all via technique at this point. Unlike every other fucking fight on this card. Every other fight on this card, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I think Tyron Woodley shuts down takedowns, gets overhands. I think Ben Askren is able to crush the distance on Robbie Lawler and get in the clinch. And from there, he's able to work takedowns against the cage and get dominant control over and over again and pound him out. I think Wale Singh is able to close the distance on Tisha Torres and absolutely dominate her in the clinch. I think Cody Garbrandt may or may not win a rough decision against Pedro Munoz, depending on how bad his game planning is when he gets swarmed on. But yeah, no, Anthony Smith, I like dude too much to not pick against him. So I'm picking garbage shit. I'm picking Anthony Smith by TKO in the second because I like dude.
I like it. By the way, what we had planned, we ran way over. I know we kind of had that
100%.
Me and you were going
to be fair, not too terrible, but pretty terrible.
Not too terrible, though. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get better at it, guys. First segment was pretty.
That's right. We're aiming for 2 hours a show. We're now at a two and a half hours a show, around there. So we'll go ahead and wrap
I probably
this here, I guess.
Like 10, 15, 20 minutes, but I think we'll be all right.
Exactly. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here. To be fair, it has been a wild fucking episode, and we will be back next Friday, right, Chris?
Yep. We will be back.
Perfect.
Yes, we will.
We'll be back next Friday. I will be off drinking heavily. I'm off work the entire next week, so maybe we'll even do a recap card if Chris is free at some point. We could probably make that happen if Chris is free. It's up to him, and I'm not gonna make him answer on air right now, so we'll figure it out later. But
we'll see what I can do.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what you can do, dog. But it should be a lot of fun. So we'll go ahead and wrap this here. And until next
time,
can I give
everybody, one quick shout out?
Absolutely, give all the shout outs.
One quick shout out, go to YouTube, go to BT Sport, the British equivalent of ESPN, and please look at UFC Face Off, Till versus Masvidal. It's absolutely fantastic. It's Dan Hardy interviewing both Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal, and they're literally sitting across the table from each other. It is absolutely fantastic.
That sounds real good.
A lot of respect for each other, and we're like, nothing personal. We would just want to scrap. It's really good.
That sounds fantastic. Also, what beers were you drinking during this?
I was drinking Alpine Brewing's HFS Western IPA, which is also known as Holy Fucking Shit. And then I was also drinking the Costco brand Kirkland Golden Margarita Mix.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here. But till next time, everybody, we'll be back next week. Go check out TSOV Pod on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube if you search the Sound of Violence podcast. Email the show at Chris thesoundofviolence.com or sovpod@gmail.com. And that's about all I got. So until next time, everybody, go do something decadent. And have a Mardi Gras, baby. We out of here. Professor Long Hair, take us out. Happy Mardi Gras, baby. When you see the